Hi, my name is Ashlee Nagle. I am a 6th grade math teacher at Algona Middle School. I graduated from Iowa State University with a business degree in 2013. I worked for a year as an internal auditor before I went back to school to get my education degree. My education degree is from Buena Vista University. This is my second year teaching full-time. Last year I taught 6th grade math and 7th grade science at North Union Middle School in Sway City, Iowa. That is where I conducted my research study. I am excited to share my research findings with you. My study is the effects of team teaching on the achievement of 7th grade science students. As a new employee to the district, I was given very little information about the problem. Administrators told me that they wanted to try a team teaching approach to improve student achievement in science. Low achieving students are a big concern at the school. This is because students who struggle in one area usually struggle in other areas that require the same types of skills. There were 14 7th grade science students who all tested below grade level in math and/or science on standardized tests. Standardized test scores in the science for this group of students ranged from being proficient at the 4th grade level to the 5th grade level. All 14 students passed their 6th grade science scores. The 14 students represented approximately 28% of the 7th grade student body. Team teaching was the first intervention to improve student achievement in science. The literature review came to one of two conclusions. The first is that team teaching is significantly positive, and the second is that team teaching is a neutral practice. None of the research said that team teaching did not have a positive impact. Most research completed on team teaching reveals many advantages to the students. Johnson, and Smith found that higher achievement levels, greater retention rates, and improved interpersonal skills for students in collaboratively taught classes. Zaire found that student recipients of team teaching had higher exam scores than those receiving traditional teaching. McKenna says that the improvement comes from students being given the opportunity to learn in different ways from each of the collaborative teachers. Letterman and Dugan also found that when teachers of various subjects work together, they are able to show the students various viewpoints, which helps the students learn and think differently. Team teaching has shown to develop higher level thinking skills in students. Students who receive cross-disciplinary instruction on the same concepts from different teachers with different strengths and areas of expertise can develop critical thinking skills by synthesizing multiple perspectives and relating the information to a larger conceptual framework. In a study performed to evaluate student attitude towards team teaching, Jang found that 65% of students considered team teaching superior to traditional teaching. The objective of the research was to answer the question, what are the effects of team teaching on the achievement and attitude of 7th grade science students? Supporting questions included, how does team teaching math and science concepts impact student test scores? To what extent does team teaching math and science concepts improve daily work grades? And how does team teaching math and science concepts affect student homework completion? The purpose of the study was to investigate the effects of team teaching on the achievement of 7th grade science students. The researcher tested the null hypothesis that there will be a significant effect on the achievement and attitude of 7th grade science students. Data has confirmed team teaching as a best practice and suggests that to begin and sustain successful team teaching, schools need to rethink standard practices. The setting for this study was a small school in northwest Iowa that is in a whole grade sharing agreement with a neighboring district. There are approximately 650 students in grades K through 12. They attend 2 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. The middle school starts at 6th grade and goes till 8th grade, and the high school is 9 through 12. The school is considered low income. The subjects were 7th grade science students. They were the lowest achieving mathematically within their grade. The sample size was 14, which consisted of 8 males and 6 females. They came from a range of socioeconomic backgrounds. They were all enrolled in general math. The design of the study was a quasi-experimental action research study that collected quantitative data. The study produced data showing the academic achievement of the students throughout the course and focused primarily on units that had a science-math emphasis. The first 2 quarters of the school year were taught using a single instructor approach. During the first semester, students stayed in their class the entire block, which was 90 minutes. Quarters 3 and 4 were taught using the team teaching strategy. During the second semester, students received instruction in one class for half of the block, and then switched to the other course for the second half of the block. The grades of each student on their post-unit assessments and daily work were collected throughout all 4 quarters. The researcher compared the first semester grades to the second semester grades. The courses were designed to focus on similar content at specific times to allow the construction of knowledge of certain material. The teachers planned their separate curriculums to coincide with each other to allow students to use and construct the knowledge they gained in one class to become relevant, meaningful, and useful in the other. Timing was crucial, and it took constant collaboration of both teachers to maximize the benefits of team teaching. The data collected were test scores and daily work grades. The instruments for both the control and experimental portions of the study were the collection of grades from formal and informal assessments. Informal assessments included review problems at the beginning of every class, student questioning, and end-of-the-day practice problems. In order to obtain the most representative sample of student achievement, grades came from various and numerous sources. Grades were taken from students' daily work. Those consisted of worksheets, book assignments, homework, and student project. Lab activities were also used to measure student achievement. Lab grades were used as a measurement of student ability to perform and apply learned concepts. The grades students received on quizzes taken during the unit and summative tests taken at the end of the unit served as a measurement of student understanding. The quizzes and tests used multiple forms of assessment such as multiple choice, fill in the blank, and short answer. There was not a set pattern for tests. Tests occurred at the end of every unit, but not always on the same day of the week. The study produced data showing the test scores, daily work scores, and amount of missing, late, or incomplete assignments of the students in each class over the same periods and unit of instruction. This table represents test score data. Test scores from the semester tests were collected and compared between the control group and the experimental group. The mean scores of the 2 classes varied by 10 and 72 hundredths points, which resulted in a t-value of just over 2. A critical value of 1 and 77 hundredths is needed to show significance at 13 degrees of freedom. Therefore, the t-value showed that there was a significant difference in test achievement at the end of the semester between the team-taught classes and the traditionally taught classes. This is the table showing daily work scores. The second sub-question, addressed by the instructor, examined the extent team teaching math and science concepts improved daily work grades. The mean scores of the 2 classes varied by 14 and 24 hundredths points, resulting in a t-value of over 4. A critical t-value of 1.77 is needed to show significance. Therefore, the t-value of over 4 shows that there's a significant difference in daily work achievement at the end of each semester between the team-taught and traditionally taught classes. This table shows the missing, late, and incomplete work. The third question, addressed by the researcher, examined the effects of how team teaching math and science concepts affect student homework completion. The mean scores of the 2 classes varied by 0.78 points, which is less than 1. Since that is lower than the critical t-value needed, there is not a significant difference in daily work grades at the end of each semester between the 2 groups. And just to review one more time, there is a critical t-value of 1 and 77 hundredths is needed to show a significance level. Tables 1 and 2 both showed significant difference, but table 3 did not. So 2 out of the 3 independent t-tests show that there was a significant difference in student achievement. The first limitation was the length of the study. The length of the study may not have been sufficient to show changes on achievement because the researcher only had half of a school year to show improvement. Students may not have improved initially because they had to adjust to being taught in a team teaching format. Adjusting to the team teaching style may have taken some students longer than others, which could have impacted the research results. Team teaching was a new concept that students were not familiar with. The researcher tried to offset this threat by explaining to the students what team teaching was, helping build positive attitude towards it, and consistently checking in with students who seemed to be lost or confused. The second limitation was the time of the year each set of data was collected. The baseline data was collected during the first semester, and the study took place during the second semester. This might have impacted the results because students are usually sick more often during the winter months. Students are also eager and interested at the beginning of the year and lose interest as the year goes on. The researcher was unable to control this threat due to time constraints based on the graduation plan from Morningside College. Student attendance was the third threat. Students who are absent more frequently typically have lower scores due to the fact that they are missing valuable instruction time. Students may have been absent more during the second semester due to being sick during the winter months. The researcher could not control student attendance, but worked to catch individual students up by working with them before school, after school, and during study hall time. Math and science courses are all team taught at all grade levels. It increased student attitude and class enjoyment, and collecting year-long data to compare would be an improvement for the school district to follow up on. The study has helped bring the strategy of team teaching to the researcher's school. Parents, teachers, and administrators were very skeptical before seeing the results of the improvement. Math and science classes are now team taught at all grade levels. Teachers are given common planning periods to allow for collaboration time, and parents have had positive reviews of the team teaching style. Students also reported that they have more positive attitudes and enjoy being able to connect the concepts they learn in class to one another. Recommendations for future study includes a longer time period so that the data can be analyzed at a deeper level, having a larger sample size, and collecting data during the same time of the school year. The purpose of this study was to investigate the effects of team teaching on the achievement of 7th grade science students. This action research was a quasi-experimental study exploring the relationship between the achievements of students in team-taught classes in comparison to a traditional class. The data collected included test scores, daily work scores, and the amount of missing, late, or incomplete assignments of students in each class over the same periods. Data was obtained through the use of test scores, daily work scores, and work completion. The data collected from the traditionally taught classes was obtained during the first semester of the 15-16 school year, and the data for the team-taught classes was obtained during the second semester of the 15-16 school year. The difference between the two classes is the traditionally taught class met in block schedule, and the science concepts did not receive any purposeful or additional focus or attention outside the science classroom. The team-taught classes met once a day in half-block classes, and the students received team teaching and reinforcement in their math class. Results indicated that there were 2 of the 3 independent t-tests showing that there was a significant difference in student achievement. The researcher feels that there is enough evidence to accept the null hypothesis. Thank you for listening to my research presentation. I am very excited to answer your questions, and thank you once again.